Hello and welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video. We sell all the coolest collectibles straight out of Japan. Please check the description of this video for more details, including our Facebook page and our eBay store. So in this video I'll be looking at some of the Grandline Men series, and I actually made another video with these, and I'll put a link in the description. But we've got a few more figures in from this series, so I thought I'd just make another video. And unfortunately most of these are unopened and we're not going to be opening them, but I can still show you, what they are and what they look like. So this was the main, I guess this is kind of the main line of figurines that Banpresto release with One Piece. I mean there's lots and lots of One Piece figures, but this one here, the Grandline Men, is really the main one. I don't know how many figures have been in this series, to be honest, but I reckon it's like over 50. It's a pretty decent number. And there's been like side ones, so there's been like the Grandline Men 15th anniversary, and then the Grandline Lady for the female characters, and there's like Grandline Ship and Grandline Special, and so there's been lots of different sort of side ones, but they all, they come in this kind of design box, and yeah, they're all a similar size and have a similar base and all that sort of stuff. So they're look, I wouldn't say they have what I call the wow factor. Like, they're not, super fantastic figures. But to be honest, they're pretty decent. They're actually pretty decent, and they're not that expensive. So I think if if you're looking to collect the Straw Hats Pirates, and it's not just the Straw Hats, there's lots of different figures in this series. This is probably the way to do it. It's probably the most cost-effective and yet good quality figures. Like, if you want to get the POPs, they're probably like the best quality, but they're like really, really expensive figures. The figure arts are pretty decent as well, but again, really, really expensive. So, I think this does the job pretty well, actually. And, most of the characters, actually, of the Straw Hats probably have a couple of different figures anyway, so you have quite a bit of choice. So anyway, so let's have a look at this one. So this one is actually volume 13. And there was only one figure in volume 13, as you can see here. And this is, I guess you'd sort of call it, I don't know, standard Franky or machine Franky, cyborg Franky. There was a Grandline 15 one, and he sort of has like a turquoise outfit on. I'm not really sure why, to be honest. But, if you like Franky, this figure actually looks really decent. It's actually in a really big box. Like, they normally come in much smaller boxes. You can see sort of the comparison there. So this one actually comes in a really big size box, and it's pretty heavy, to be honest. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's a pretty heavy. That'd be a good, I reckon that's probably a good 8, maybe even 900 grams. It's pretty heavy. It's a very heavy figure. So I would have loved to have actually been able to open this and show you, but anyway. So you can see, that's the design, that's what it looks like. And he actually has, it says two-way head, but I think what they mean is actually two different heads. It's not like one's on the side and the other one's on the back. You actually get two different heads. So that's a pretty cool looking, I can always hear Franky like making his, silly noise like super and this kind of thing. So that's a pretty cool figure of Franky. In fact, that's a pretty cool figure, full stop. So yeah, would have loved to have been able to open that for you, but anyway. Then I'd never actually seen this figure before, to be honest. But this one again has actually got two different heads, and it says Bracho Tank. So you can see this one is the Grandline vehicle. So it's still part of like the Grandline Men series, but it's kind of like a bit of a side one, and yeah, you can see that's what it has. So you can actually take Chopper off by the look of it and give him some legs as well and display him separately. So that's pretty cool. So this is, I forget what, well, I guess it's called the Bracho Tank, but Franky of course has some wacky inventions, and this is one of them. So that's mode 5 on the Sunny. Ship's called Sunny, I think. First one was Mary. So that's pretty cool looking figure actually, if you like Chopper. And that'd actually go pretty well with the Franky, I reckon, given that Franky of course made it. Then Arlong. So Arlong of course was the guy who sort of bullied, I guess you could say, Nami. And there aren't too many figures of Arlong actually, so it's pretty cool that this one's out there. So this one was part of Volume 5, and you can see, I forget this guy's name actually, but he's a pretty important guy on the right. He used to be the top of the Arlong's gang of pirates. But yeah, it's a pretty decent looking figure. You can see like all the veins and, you know, the evil green. He's got his sword. It's pretty nice looking. Even got the fin at the back. So it's a nice looking figure in my opinion. I really don't know of any other Arlong figure actually. So if you're collecting the bad guys, Arlong's pretty much the first bad guy when you think about it. There was a story when Usopp joined, but I don't even remember who it was. I think it was like a minor kind of bad guy. But yeah, Arlong I think was sort of the first. It was kind of the first real arc, arguably. So that's a nice figure, and you could put that with like a Nami. I mean, yeah, I guess those two don't work too well, but she's like relaxing, eating ice cream, and he's like ready to kill her. But there's other Nami figures in the Grandline Men series that you could combine with them. And then lastly, I have Sanji, and we actually also had an open one, so I can actually show you that one too. So you can see here, like, it's a fairly, I don't know, I mean, it's a standard figure. They don't have articulation and that, but I really love the paint job. Probably it's a bit hard to see in the light, but there's lots of really nice tones of blue in there, and even his hair, it's out of focus, that's why. His hair has some shades of blonde, and it looks nice, in my opinion. These are pretty decent figures, and they all come on like a black base. So this is the box for this. And I think this particular one came with Rayleigh. Yeah, it's Volume 6, so the other one in Volume 6 was Rayleigh. So they don't always really follow like a particular theme, because obviously Sanji doesn't really have much to do with Rayleigh. But it's a really nice figure of Sanji actually. It's a really nice figure. Just really looks like the gentleman that he is in the series. He's having a cigarette, like he often does in the series as well. So yeah, so that's just a few of the many figures in the Grandline Men series. So that was the Sanji, we had the Chopper, Arlong, and the very cool, Franky. So yeah, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.